Today I'm at Cole Diagnostics. This is Dr. Ryan Cole's laboratory. Of course, we've had him on speaking as a pathologist on many of the issues around the COVID vaccine. I want to see it with my own eyes, and Dr. Ryan Cole is going to give me that opportunity. So let's go in and see what this lab's all about. Right, Dr. Ryan Cole, brother. Good to see you, man.
Great to have you in Idaho, my friend.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Welcome to Cole Diagnostics. Welcome to the lab. Let's do a quick tour and do some science.
All right, sounds good. See what you got going on.
All righty. So this is where the magic begins. This is where all the specimens roll in. Blood, microbiology, molecular biology, biopsies, you name it, we do it. Early on in COVID, the hospitals were lagging and struggling. As you remember, the big labs early on is where everything was going, but it was taking too long. So we started early and tried to ramp up for helping the community. This is kind of the sports car of amplifiers in terms of being able to take a lot of patients and throughput continuously as well. Over here is kind of the heart of the lab. Here on the Architect, we do all the different chemistries and thyroid panels and you name it. That machine pretty much is the workhorse. On this side, we do the tissue processing, and here at the microtome and this water bath, they cut the slides into thin 4/1000ths of an inch sections, and that's what comes to my desk each day is the biopsy slides.
You are a pathologist for decades now. How many years?
26 years.
Have you seen anything that resembles these types of clots before?
No.
Never?
From around the country, from coroners and embalmers, I have received some samples and specimens from, unfortunately, the patients that have not made it.
Okay.
Now, me personally, I've done about 550 autopsies. And when you do an autopsy, yeah, the blood congeals, but it tends to be red and jelly-like and soft, almost like Jell-O. But these have been coming out of individuals' bodies at the time of embalming, blocking, large stretches of vessels in the arm or the leg or in the lungs. Or I have some coming from a surgeon in another state who has been removing these huge rubbery carotid plaques. And so the normal composition of a clot should be fibrin, platelets, some trapped white blood cells and whatnot. These are firm and rubbery. Patients do form deep vein clots, but the consistency of those clots is different than this. They're not white like this. They're not firm and rubbery. They're not, if we pull these out and put gloves on and squish them, they bounce back.
And obviously coroners do this all the time.
They do, and
they're sending this out because something's bothering them.
Something's bothering them. So this is what I would normally see at autopsy. Some red cells, some trapped white blood cells within the middle. That's a normal post-mortem clot there. A little bit of kind of that magenta in the background, that would be fibrin strands. But what you don't see is just thick casts of all fibrin. It should be mixed elements. You see kind of that greenish bluish glow. So that's true beta-pleated amyloid. So that's a special type of a protein congealing. But if I go and I look at the clots themselves, haven't had that same glow to them. And I've looked at about 20 of them with this Congo red stain. My next step is spike protein stains on all of these to see is there spike protein deposited in those protein sheets. But like this entire, this is one of those spaghetti strands, and it's just one long line of protein just congealed together. That was one giant clot that came out of a vaccinated woman, and it came out in the shape of the inside of the uterus. And I've talked to OBs left and right that are seeing this. The sad thing is it just takes that much of a blockage in a medium-sized vessel to now you can't get red blood cells past that, you can't get oxygen past that. You get a heart attack, you get a stroke, you infarct your lung, you infarct another organ. You can't perfuse around this.
Is that that thick? Is it that wide?
That's wide, yeah. this type of clot, it's different in consistency, color, size. It's just a completely different consistency. And have I seen clots 500,000 patients later? You bet I've seen clots.
Yeah.
Clots like this now. And talking to other colleagues, other pathologists, hey, have you seen these? No. Coroners? No. This isn't normal, folks. There's nothing normal about this.